This guy, like legend in the auto business, friend of mine. I met him, how many years ago, Brian?
God, 1992, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there.
One of the reasons I was excited about having you here was because you are one of the few people, very few have seen my whole run.
The progression, yeah. Pain, uncertainty, and constant work. And the more you prepare for pain, uncertainty, and constant work, then you have growth. But when you don't prepare for pain, uncertainty, and constant work, the more pain, uncertainty, and constant work you have. Again, I gotta be careful, right? Because I don't think it's a great car.
Why have they been hanging on? Who wants a Buick, bro?
Who wants a Buick?
Who wants to watch a Buick ad?
Yeah, not too many people.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be watching right now. Electric's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's costing the factories billions of dollars.
Didn't Ford just tap out on it?
They're backing off. They can't tap out. They can't afford to tap out because the government's got a gun at your head. They'll put you out of business.
Brian Benstock, guys, guy I've known, this guy, like legend in the auto business, friend of mine. I met him, how many years ago, Brian?
God, 1992, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And I was hustling car dealers back then, selling training. And I'm like, I got to get in front of Brian Benstock. Man, if I can get in front of Paragon Honda, #1 Honda dealer in the world at the time, if I can get in front of them and do training with them, it's going to help me.
Man, Grant,
but wait a minute. So this guy, like great operator, great dude. I've spent a lot of time getting to know him over the last 13 years. Now an owner in an operation in New York, as well as running one of the top stores in the country. And
the top store in the country. Paragon Honda was #1 in the world last year. #1 for new, #1 for used cars in the world. We beat Norm Reeves Honda for the first time in 29 years. We took them down.
They need a good ass whipping.
They did. You know, and Dave Cohen is a great dealer, operator. But, we set the target. It took me a long time to be able to do it. But we've got an outstanding crew in the store. And Grant, I've known you, I love people saying, look, he's an overnight success. I've known you since you were selling cassette tapes out of the back of your car. You've been working your ass off for a long time. And so it's
one of the reasons I was excited about having you here was because you are one of the few people of all the people that see me today, like very few have seen my whole run.
The progression.
The progression, the struggle.
I remember Schuster and I were at NAD a bunch of years ago. I thought you were full of crap. Man, I thought you were like Joe Verdi light, and you're like piece of
Joe Verdi light.
Yeah, I thought you were Joe Verdi light, and Joe is younger than me, and he really gravitated towards you, and I was more of the old school Joe Verdi. But you got it done quick. You bite size. Joe Verdi was long form, and you were bite size. And I realized there was a shift in the generation. They didn't have time for the long form. You got it done quickly. And I think I started to make that transition at that time.
Well, the mistake I made, I liked being ahead of the curve, but it cost me a lot.
How so?
Because this is 1990 when I was talking about open with price, initiate the issue. Don't give the price, but initiate that we're here to give you a price and a payment and a down payment and figures on your car. This was before internet, before Kelley Blue Book was out.
Take all the objections out of the way.
Yeah, they're just like, there was no internet. There was no TrueCar or Edmunds. There was zero. And I was like, this is what people want.
It really is. The transparency.
And I was out telling car dealers that, and I was telling it to them in the wrong way. And only a small group of people like yourself could actually have it because you were evolved and ready to go.
Yeah, I think we were one of the early adopters to the internet, and we just jumped out. Hey, the transparency is great. We got nothing to hide. Yeah. And I think we really got way out ahead of everybody, especially in used cars. That transparency was right up our alley. So we've been able to dominate, I think, 13, 14 years in a row, #1 certified used car dealer for Honda and Acura in the world. So
that's amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
That's amazing. In New York, you would expect that out of
in New
LA,
York. Yeah, sure.
Miami.
I freaking love it down here, man. I could see why they moved down here. I could see this weather doesn't suck.
So let's talk about the car business right now. Like what's happening right now?
The tremendous transition. You've got this move from the ICE age to the BEV, battery electric vehicle age. It's being mandated by the government. I think and the government gets so many things wrong. Right? You'd think it'd be a natural evolution. Like who talked you into an iPhone? Nobody. It was better than what was before.
Right.
And it's not necessarily the case with battery electric vehicles.
That wasn't subsidized.
It wasn't subsidized at all. I mean, once I can remember the first time I got the phone, a friend of mine showed me the phone. She showed me a picture of it and she expanded the picture. I went, I got to have that. And I'm sitting there saying, wait, is it glass? You got to touch. There's no buttons. It's no good. And until I got it in my hand. And it's the exact opposite experience with cars.
This is more like the the mask.
Yeah, well, the point, they're pointing a gun at your head saying you got to use this.
Yeah.
And so many people are running into so many difficulties, you know. So why mandate
electric's
it?
a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's costing the factories billions of dollars.
Didn't Ford just tap out on it?
They're backing off. They can't tap out. They can't afford to tap out because the government's got a gun at your head. They'll put you out of business. And I've never seen the strong arm of the government like I'm seeing it here. They're penalizing automobile manufacturers $20,000 a car if you don't hit the objective. So
hit a number of
a certain percentage of battery electric vehicles by a certain date. Right?
yeah. And what is the point of that?
Well, to force their hand, really, to say, hey, this is the direction we're going. And the reality is, battery electric vehicles, as they're manufactured today, have a bigger carbon footprint than their ICE competitors. So it's really not about the damn environment. That's a nonsense that they're giving us. It's not about that, right?
Blow out the audio,
I'm sorry, but then what is it about, right?
Yeah.
What is it about?
Yeah.
And what about those pesky customers? The consumer adaptation is not at the rate that anybody expected.
Dude, I'm buying my daughter a car right now, right? I'm not getting an electric car, bro.
Well,
I'm not even considering it. Like, has zero interest in thinking about it, looking at it, not even the hybrid.
Well,
like I didn't even research it.
I think it'll come along. I think it'll come along. I think that technology will be there.
I'm just telling you, I bought 5 vehicles in the last 90 days, never even considered electric.
Yeah.
I bought 2 Humvees.
Yeah, I saw, man, they're beautiful. I at one time.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want electric, dude. I want something that has nothing to do with the government stopping my engine.
Yeah, no, well,
Impossible.
And that's the repossessing cars now, turning cars off, preventing you from going to certain cities,
tracking where they're
tracking
going,
exactly where you're going, and it's got a creep factor to it.
Yeah, it is creepy. So let's talk beyond electric. What's like, how are car dealers doing right now with interest rates what are interest rates on a new car today?
You're looking at lending, I think it's 9%, 9.5% to consumers. And it's not so much that the rate's high. It was the rate, the acceleration of the rate. We went from 3% to 9% overnight. I think that shocked consumers.
600 basis points.
And it shocked the dealers. They're saying it's a return to normal, right? That we're going back to 2019. But the reality is in 2019, interest rates 2, 3, 4%. So now you've got the inventory availability.
Yeah, and the car was 40 grand. It wasn't 80.
Right. Well, so now the cars were 80 grand now with an interest multiple that's 3 times that. So my floor plan charge went from a credit of $200,000 a month to a debit of $600,000 a month.
Wow.
That delta is $800,000 a month.
Wow.
And that's pretty substantial for a large dealership like ours. So you've got to turn the inventory like never before. Thankfully,
So who's subsidizing that rate? Because I'm not seeing 7 and 8s and 9s advertised.
No,
I'm seeing 0s.
Well, the consumer is subsidizing it. The taxpayer is subsidizing it. Ultimately, subsidizing the battery electric vehicles.
But how are they offering some of these lower rates or lease rates right now?
Well, a lot of the manufacturers right now, they've cut the incentives that they used to have big incentives on the cars. Those are gone. They've limited the amount of supply.
So they're using that to buy the rate down?
That's correct. Again, you're paying for it one place.
So is that affecting General Motors, Honda, and Ford's, Toyota's profit margins?
Yeah, you're seeing many of the manufacturers are pulling it back from the dealers. And again, we were in a profit coma during COVID the past 2, 3, 4 years. We made unprecedented margins like never
best
before.
thing that ever happened to a car dealer was COVID, huh?
It really was. It was great. But, again, you've got to pay the piper because now you've got the reality set in right now. Inventory levels are coming back to normal. And you see some of the manufacturers are really in trouble. You look at Infinity, you look at some of the other manufacturers. I don't know that they're going to be around much longer.
Who's in trouble?
Oh, definitely Infinity. I'm hearing they're going to
I'm looking
merge.
at buying an Infinity right now for my kid.
It's a good time. You look at what is it,
Nissan?
Mini Cooper in trouble. Certainly Nissan. The dealers that they have a ton of inventory available on the ground. It's a great time if you want to buy Nissan. But many of the Nissan dealers I know are struggling with profitability. Your Toyota, Lexus, Honda are doing really well.
So big brands
still
doing good.
But Grant, look at this. You've got 400 BEV vehicle manufacturers coming on board. 400
BEV?
different battery electric vehicle,
battery electric vehicles,
manufacturers. And
See,
so
somebody's going to call me out. Oh, Car don't know nothing about the car business no more. He don't even know what BEV stands for.
Well, battery electric
Bro, I
vehicles.
dated a girl named Bev, okay? And she was smoking hot. That's what I thought he was talking about.
a
Like, she
long
got to do
time
with
ago.
cars.
No, so ICE is internal combustion engine, and BEV is battery electric vehicle. And there are 400 manufacturers coming in out of China. And you look at what's happening; they're dumping cars. They've got cars they can't get rid of, and these new manufacturers that are coming in are going to undercut the U.S. production. I don't know why we're subsidizing China. I don't know why we're moving in this direction. And you get into a whole political conversation about that.
So when they passed the increase to UAW, I think it was what? Did they go to $40 an hour or something?
Yeah, it was unprecedented.
I'm like, can't you guys see what's happening right here? You guys are going to bury United Auto Manufacturers. This production will be done in China in the future or
Absolutely.
Mexico.
Absolutely.
You're going to give the United Auto Worker labor unions what they want today, so they chew on their bone and feel like they had their victory, and you're going to freaking pull the rug out from them in the future.
Listen, it's
you
like,
agree with that?
I do. They're going to cut the number of workers that are employed. They can't keep the same number of workers, so they may get a higher hourly wage,
for a
but there can be
minute.
less people. Look at what they've done to like the McDonald's workers. They said, hey, if you work in a fast food place, you got to get $20 an hour. So all of a sudden, they've automated.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine owns a McDonald's franchise, a number of McDonald's franchises. He said, as soon as they get us over $15 an hour, we're going to automate. And this is 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Sure enough, they've automated. You go into a McDonald's, there's 2 employees behind the counter, and there's all kiosks there where there used to be people.
You don't look like you're eating at McDonald's.
I'm not eating at McDonald's, man. I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm really paying attention to that at this point in my life.
Yeah. So you're saying you agree with this, that the UAW was given something today, and they'll have the rug pulled from underneath them.
At the expense of the future. You know,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
always sell the vine for a single grape, and that's what they've got. There's a couple of guys beating their chest. Look what we got.
Yeah.
And what's the cost of that? You know, it's ultimately the consumer is always going to pay for the price increase, or the union.
Yeah.
It's going to come from someplace.
I know during COVID that finance managers, used car managers, sales managers were making more money than they ever made.
Yeah.
How is that now adjusted?
Well, you know, the challenge, Grant, was that a number of these guys extended themselves beyond where they should be. I had an HR manager at a big organization tell me that you had salesmen going in and buying themselves $2 million houses.
Oh my God.
And they were earning, money they'd never earned before.
They definitely didn't watch my videos.
And they're gonna, I question how are they gonna do when this profit coma wears off, and it's worn off for a number of people. I kept,
This is when, just so all the viewers, if you don't know about the auto business, this is when you guys were getting $10,000 and $15,000 and $20,000 over sticker for cars because you couldn't get enough inventory.
Right. There was a scarcity in inventory,
Yeah.
and there's some people will say there was gouging. It really wasn't gouging.
Yeah.
If our dealership needs 1,000 cars a month to pay its expenses, all of a sudden we're getting 300 cars a month, we're going to have to charge a certain amount to be able to pay our expenses.
Yeah.
But the
And you were being threatened at the same time because with a $14,000 penalty if you didn't force the jab.
Yeah. Don't talk to me about New York State. I mean, they closed us down.
So, I'm just saying you were running scared too. You're like, I got to make whatever I can make because they might come and shut me down again or.
Well, in fact, they did.
Yeah.
And they closed us down. They limited us to having 5 employees in the dealership at one time.
Wow.
Everything had to be delivered outside the delership.
Wow.
So
That was just 3 years ago, man. 4 years ago.
We bled pretty heavily for a couple of months. $600,000-$700,000 a month losses. For a while, and then that pendulum swung the other way. But you say now what's going to happen now with these guys that are struggling?
You had managers and general managers, sales, used car managers making how much money?
A lot of money.
$500,000?
And I've heard stories upwards of $1 million.
They were making what an owner would make.
Absolutely.
In pre-COVID.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's insane, man.
We saw some unprecedented incomes, but again.
And then they went and spent it like drunken sailors.
100%, and now they're paying the price. And they again, like pro athletes, right? They're earning big money. All of a sudden, their career ends, and then they've got all the hangers on, and they end up being bankruptcy.
Yeah.
On bankruptcy court.
Have you seen some of that?
I have, unfortunately.
Wow.
I've seen some guys, that didn't prepare. And unfortunately, the skill sets, right? They were making money without developing or keeping the skills there. And we got a lot of new people that entered the business at that time, and they think that was normal. That became their new normal.
Yeah.
And now reality is hitting. And I think that's been the biggest adjustment for a lot of
were they not just your store, but other stores, were guys having to do any preparation, any training, any work at all, or just clubbing baby seals?
A lot of dealership, I hate to use that expression, clubbing baby seals, but a lot of guys were doing that. I think we were, I understood what was going on, and I really kept my foot on people's throats, saying, "Hey, this is not going to last. This is not going to last." And I was being called the doomsdayer, and I said, "This is a profit coma." And I had a buddy of mine, unfortunately, became a dealer, and he's saying this is easy, and he became a Ford dealer. And 6, 7, 8 months into being a Ford dealer, he's in Versailles on vacation.
Oh my God!
And my wife says, "Why can he do that? You've never taken 3 weeks off in your life." And I said, "He's an idiot. This is like a baby child. You can't leave it on the front porch."
Right.
And sure enough, he's in deep weeds right now.
Wow.
And because he wasn't doing the work that he needed to do at that time.
Yeah. Dude, I saw so much of that with guys that were watching me raise money for real estate, and they're like, "I'm going to jump in the game." I had a banker tell me the other day, I had a banker tell me, and an institution, every single person that followed you in to real estate is gone.
Well, you've got the experience, and you can't get that overnight.
And I don't get ahead of myself ever.
Grant, I got ahead of myself in 1990. I was over leveraged, and I got in trouble. And now, all the real estate that I've got significant equity in that real estate. So, trees don't grow to the sky, and when things pull back, trees don't grow to the sky. And when things pull back, you got to be able to contract with it. And I one of the reasons I invested with you is that your real estate's proper. You invest in great properties. You're properly leveraged in the property. So if things do pull back a little bit, you're okay. I came by. I drove by our little property over here. It looks beautiful.
Did they? We take care of them.
Absolutely.
Somebody wrote an article that said Grant Cardone's over leveraged. I'm like, I got $5 billion. We just paid cash for $700 million worth of deals. Cash.
You can't go bankrupt when you're paying cash.
I'm like, we got $5 billion, right at $5 billion right now, with $2.2 billion in debt. I'm like, I don't know how I lose this. I guess I could, but if I lose it, everybody's going down.
Oh, and that's
like you're going straight through to the bone.
Yeah, I love what you've done. Your checks come to us every month.
Every month, man, I try to deliver. Okay, so used cars good, strong right now.
Strong,
weak.
Strong.
New car weak or strong?
You're going to continue.
Don't just give me the sunshine.
You're going to continue to see scarcity in used cars because of the lack of production over the past 2, 3, 4 years. So you're not going to have as many cars coming off lease. So I think used cars are going to continue to be strong. I think some of the manufacturers are going to either consolidate or they're going to disappear. We can't. There's not enough room for everybody.
Who give me a prediction? Who would consolidate or disappear?
I think Infiniti is going to merge with Nissan. I'm hearing rumors.
Be one brand.
I'm hearing rumors Nissan Plus. And I think some of the other Mini. I'm not sure that they're going to make it. Buick. I'm not sure that they're going to make it.
Why they've been hanging on? Who wants a Buick, bro?
Who wants a Buick?
Who wants to watch a Buick ad?
Yeah, not too many people.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be watching right now. A Buick ad. You guys in the room don't even know what a fucking Buick is.
Yeah, no,
right?
Exactly that. Yeah, where do you advertise for Buick? At a funeral home?
Like,
I mean, it's
Cadillac makes it.
Cadillac should make it.
Yeah,
I think
because of their Escalade.
Yeah, that's the only thing keeping them going. I think is really strong. Ford, Ford's going to be different. I think Malawi initially was really harsh on the dealers, talking about not needing the dealers. Now I think he's singing a different tune. You need the dealers. And this electrification, I think we've got to listen to the customer. You're never wrong when you listen to the customer. And customer demand is not there for electric vehicles. The government can't mandate customer demand. The customers mandate customer demand.
Yeah.
And I think whenever you listen to the customer, I think you go in the right direction.
Yeah. And then Tesla, where are we at with Tesla?
Man, you can't bet against Elon Musk. That guy's so freaking smart. We need guys like that in government. That guy figures stuff out.
But why was he ignored and left out of the meetings?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Because there's an agenda. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe his politics. Especially now that he's been vocal about his politics. But what an incredible thought leader. What an incredible brain that guy's got. And we should, maybe he can do more for us on the outside than he can on the inside.
Yeah.
But I love the stuff that he does. And damn it, he's hurt. He makes it difficult for us, but he's causing the manufacturers to step up.
Yeah.
And I think many of the manufacturers are stepping up because specifically of what he's done.
But why do they keep trying to chase him though? Because every time they chase him, he just leaves.
What do you mean?
He just extends the gap.
Well, he's look, he's a maniac when it comes to, he's cut his prices 12 times in the last 12 months. Manufacturers don't have the stomach for it, and he has, every time there's a little bit too much supply, boom, he cuts the price, and significantly. So they all want to be like him, but they won't do what he does.
Yeah. Now that brings me to Hertz. Hertz, I read, had bought or was selling 19,000 Teslas.
Yeah, they got hurt
at a $20,000 loss per unit.
That's right. They got hurt with the vehicles. The residuals weren't there, right? And so they count on buying the cars low and then being able to sell them for a very high premium at the end. And so that they can make the rental income off of that. And there's not much of a gap between the prices they're paying and the price they get at the end. When he started cutting the price on those cars, that gap extended and they were looking at some losses. Plus, I think the maintenance costs.
That's what I heard.
They assumed that there'd be no maintenance costs.
Yeah,
Grant, let me give
and
you
it was higher than.
Let me give you a stat. Right now, the service business is an $800 billion industry.
Wow.
It's predicted it's going to go to a $2.3 trillion industry over the next 10 years. So the maintenance myth on electric that you're not going to have maintenance, it's wrong. There's going to be a lot of maintenance issues there. And again, Hertz is a prime example. They were getting killed on it because they believe the hype that all you have to do is change tires. And there's a lot of suspension work that goes with it. These heavy batteries require a lot of suspension work. And what happens when you have to replace a battery? It's $28,000, $20,000 every time you got to replace a battery.
How long is the battery good for?
It depends, right? Depends on how you're charging the batteries. Someone gets in an accident, you puncture that battery, boom, you got to replace the battery, $20,000+.
And that's not covered by a warranty.
And it's not covered by the warranty.
Damn.
So there's a lot of.
I didn't even think about a Tesla for my kid. Maybe that'd be a good car.
It's not for me. It's too plain Jane. I mean, I think he's done a great job with it. It's. Again, I gotta be careful, right? Because I don't think it's a great car. I had some guy in Spain say, have you ever driven a Tesla? I said, no interest in driving. He said, you gotta drive my car, I got into the car, went into a turn, and there was a couple of bumps in the turn. The thing started skipping lanes. I said, I got a Civic that drives better than this thing. He was so offended. I said,
what did you like about it?
Acceleration, and it's got an iPad. And the acceleration in the iPad was great. Other than that, it's not a great car. In fact, it's a lousy car.
Acceleration is pretty.
Anything that's electric's got acceleration.
Because why is that? Why?
Because it's instantaneous. I just drove an Acura ZDX ride and drive. That damn thing's got the acceleration of a Ferrari. And the regen when you come off the accelerator and the braking was phenomenal in that. But they all have that. But the Tesla, I think, is bare bones plain Jane in terms of car features. Now, a lot of regular folk don't care about that stuff. As a driver, those things are really important to me.
What do the managers, sales managers, used car managers, salespeople, general managers, what should they be doing today to prepare themselves for what looks like a tougher economy going forward?
The education, man, education. You've got to prepare this. I think there's a guy named Stutz that's got a fabulous Netflix video about the psychologist, and he says there's a couple constants in life. It's pain, uncertainty, and constant work. And the more you prepare for pain, uncertainty, and constant work, then you have growth. But when you don't prepare for pain, uncertainty, and constant work, the more pain, uncertainty, and constant work you have. Right?
Exactly.
And when did you stop working? Never.
Yeah.
Have you arrived? Not yet.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's Friday. You're here enjoying Miami, and I'm working, dude.
Well, I'm working.
No, come on, man. You're not working.
Look
at you. You're in a goddamn beautiful Miami shirt. Your wife's on the beach right now.
She's on the beach. What are you doing?
Clearly, you've been suntanning and working out this morning. I'm sure you got your curls in before you came to the meeting.
Leg day today. You don't skip this stuff.
Yeah.
And
so what kind of training should those guys be doing right now? Guys and girls.
I think getting your mind straight, getting your mindset straight, getting your skill set straight. What are customers looking for today? Understanding what today's customers are looking for. Speed. How do you bring your product to customers instead of making them come to you? We had, a couple of years ago, we started pickup and delivery for service, 2017, ahead of COVID. and we were trying to figure out how do we solve for X in Manhattan, and the dealership there went out of business, and how do we service the customers there? We started offering pickup and delivery, and I had an imaginary meeting with a board of directors. I had all of my key managers, and I pretended that Jeff Bezos was in the room, and I said, "How much would you charge for the service?" And one of my managers said, $2,000. I'd have a package. Another manager said $1,500. I said, "Bezos, what would you charge?" He said, "I'd make it free, like Prime." And so I said, let's make the pickup and delivery free. Grant, since 2017, we've picked up 200,000 cars. 200,000 cars for service, brought them back to the customer's driveway, generate over $53 million in gross profit without the customers having to come to the store.
Wow.
And
what do those 200,000 pickups cost you?
It's free because the customers.
I mean, what it cost you? It cost you something.
It cost me a fortune, but not 50. You know,
not $53 million.
No. You know what actually happened?
Yeah.
The service repair order.
How much increase in your service work?
Let me give you the quantify it, right? The average repair order was $250. When we pick up the car, the average repair order is doubled. It's $500.
Wow.
Why? We couldn't figure out why. Because what happens when you go to service? You drop off your car, you wait an hour, then they do the work. It's another 45 minutes. And they say, "Hey, Grant, you need, in addition to your brakes, you need calipers."
I don't want to, man.
And you say,
Friction
you have two
and
questions.
resistance.
You say, "How much and how long?"
Yeah,
And you don't like either answer.
Yeah.
When we call you up and say, "Grant, look, here's a picture of your brakes. Here's new brakes. We'd like to buy them." You say, "Go ahead."
Yeah.
And so we get double
At least
the
you're not
work.
punished twice.
So it's exactly right.
Yeah.
So and 96% of the time you're not using your car. We're all sitting here now. None of us are using our car.
That's right.
And so if you needed service, why not make better use of the customer's time? And that's what I'm talking about with electrification. Do what's right for the customer. It ends up being what's right.
I'm going to give you a perfect example. Happened this morning. Tony's in there. Tony works with me, and I'm trying to buy a car for my daughter. She's 15. She's going to have her starter car, right? So, true story, dude. First of all, I go online. I'm searching. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it. I get to looking for a used car under 5,000 miles on it. I get, who's the big used car? CarMax.
Okay.
I call the number, Cincinnati phone number. Car's going to be delivered 10 miles away, and nobody answers. Okay, all right.
Not uncommon, man.
I'm moving on to somebody else. I call a Range Rover store, an Infiniti store, a Honda store. Bro, these people still don't know what they're doing.
Still don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. They're lucky they have caller ID. Otherwise, they wouldn't have my phone number.
Yeah.
They don't know their inventory. They're not speaking clearly.
100%.
The one guy that did a great job on the phone says, "Hey, I'll bring you a car." I said, "Great." And then they call me and say, "We got to load it on a truck." Now, he's only 3 miles from here.
Drive
3
it.
miles.
Drive the damn.
They're like, "We don't want to put miles on a new car." They know it's me.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
mistake.
3 miles away, literally 3 miles from right here, right now. Another guy drove a car 37 miles today to show it to me. This guy wants to put it on a truck. I said, "Tony, tell him, do not put the car on a truck. I don't want them to bear that expense."
There's more wear and tear on the car.
I feel bad about it. I'm like, "No, don't put it on a truck," because then I feel obligated. I don't want to do that. Don't put it on a truck. Maybe I'll go there this weekend. I told the guy, I said, "I'll come by Saturday and look at it," which, you know what that means?
And you forget it.
I'm going to fucking be like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I ain't going to go there Saturday.
Grant, any car that I purchased that's not a Honda or Acura for my family, I've never gone to the dealership.
Yeah.
I picked up a car for my
course,
wife.
bro, of course.
And the car was brought to me, and the guy said, "Stop by anyway." I said, "Just deliver it to me."
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $500.
I had a $100,000 Humvee and a
$250,000
$250,000 Humvee
I saw it
delivered
right to your
on a
front-
truck,
Right.
bought sight unseen,
100%.
used, by the way, 1980 trucks, diesel engines, have no idea what's in them, sold by the military. Like, I don't even know what I really got. Okay. Delivered across the country without sight unseen. So I'm like, and it's just, don't make it so hard on me, man. Here, I haven't been in the car business in a long time on like you're in it every day, but I'm like, man, to hear that this morning, but before you're coming over here,
So you're a
was shocking to
baller.
me.
You're a baller, and I'm a sort of a baller.
No, I'm not a baller. I'm buying her, dude, a Q50 because it's 34 grand.
And I got my daughter a used Benz SUV that was less than a CRV.
Yeah.
And the same deal. But imagine offering this service to a regular blue collar worker. They're stunned because everybody's time is valuable
be like,
to them.
wow, you're going to do that for me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Respect everybody's time.
Yeah, exactly.
Time is the most important commodity that we all have.
Yeah.
You'll trade all your worth for an extra day of life at
Yeah.
the end of your life, and so respect people's time. And I think
Well, one of the kids even told me, "Hey, man, I'll bring the car out, but you got a reputation for returning them." And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, bro, look, I didn't promise you I was going to buy the car. Like, I'm looking for my
Make it easy
kid.
for me. Make the car right. Make it easy for me.
At least I'm qualified.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like crazy, man.
Yeah,
2024.
But it hasn't changed since you were in the industry full time. It hasn't changed. It got worse because it got easier for people to make money, and so a lot of the veterans, that have retired, they're out of the business, and these kids are in the business. now. And so you look at your professionals in there. They look the part. They're standing up. I walked through there. I saw a room full of pros. And then you go some other place.
He's talking about our sales room back here.
I just walked through. I mean, I'm on fire. I want to pick up the phone and start taking calls. It's awesome.
Well, I'm not trying to trash car dealers today. I'm just telling you that was my experience
today.
today.
Reality. It's a reality today. And it's in any business.
And by the way, Bob that came over here, drove over here, he was super nice, spent the time, invested the time to bring a car over here. And
Grant, I was looking for a boat. It
was just the wrong car for me,
I was
right?
looking for a boat, for a used boat. I can't
what do y'all do with boats in New York, bro?
Well, we got water. We got water up there.
But when can you use it?
I was looking for a Hinckley, right? I used Hinckley. I put in 5 inquiries. I didn't get a damn call back. And these boats were anywhere from $1 million to $5 million.
Oh my God!
I didn't get one. I didn't get
you
one
are
call
a baller,
back.
Dude. You are a baller.
And I put all the information in there.
You start buying boats, then you're really making a lot of money.
Come on. I saw what you rented, man. It was a nice ship.
I'm gonna buy one of those one day.
Yeah, all the big boys do, right?
Yeah,
they do.
I'm going. That's my dream. My dream is to own a big yacht.
Yeah, Mr. Staluppi and Mr. Rosati have some pretty nice ships out there.
Yeah,
always look at those guys.
Let's talk about health, okay? Because you're in great shape. You're 60 what?
63.
Dude, nobody would know that. I mean, everybody's got to be shocked, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And taking great care of yourself, paying the price every day.
Every day.
Why is that more important to you today than when you were 40?
Well, you realize the sand's running out of the hourglass. Time is limited, and I'm up against a new generation, a young generation. I want to be able to compete. I want to be able to stay relevant.
Can you hang with them?
No, they can't hang with me. I've run 23 marathons. I still love going out there and competing and being able to put the time in. And I'm not the fastest, but I think I can outwork most of these young guys. And I love the fact that I'm turning on my team. That I've got a bunch of guys that I've had run marathons and that are doing it. And it's not about the marathon, but when you put in the time and dedication to do something hard, something happens in your brain, and that can be transmuted to other things in your life. And I think that's really been the exciting part is to teach them that you can do hard stuff.
Yeah, well, they see you doing it. You're a good example, man.
Every day, man. It's 5 a.m.
How much different is it owning a store than just managing one?
Well, I didn't just manage Paragon. I was a partner.
I know,
store,
but
I had the benefit of an incredible partner with a lot of money in the bank. And Like I said, I'm up at now at 4:00 in the morning. I'm checking the bank accounts and looking there, and my controller is getting text messages from me at 4:00. Hey, check this account out. Hey, what happened here? And we're looking a little low there, and she doesn't have to be awake at that time. But when she wakes up, she's getting a greeting. Hey, you've got mail. Take a look at that.
And she's seeing the mail time, 4:20 a.m. And you're like, oh shit,
Papa B's taking a look at what's going on there.
Right.
And I think it's just an awareness.
How big's that store?
It's we just moved into the top 80 dealerships in the country. There's 1,100 dealerships, so I'm proud to say we're the top 80. Hey, we doubled service business in a year.
Wow.
We 100% doubled service business in a year. CSI for both service and sales now in the top top quadrant in the nation. The foundation set, we're going to freaking blow the roof off the place.
Yeah.
Really excited.
Yeah, awesome.
And the goal is to be the number one in everything. The Honda measures, that's great. Number one.
And how long does it take you to get your money back there?
Dude, 2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
Oh my God.
2 years.
It's amazing, dude.
2 years. Yeah, we had.
I wish I could get my money in real estate back every 2 years.
Grant, today's my 1 year anniversary in the store, and the store is really outperforming my expectations. They're doing a great job. The men and women. I got 2 partners that I
remember when you were doing that deal and you and I talked.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
How could you not be nervous?
It was and is a lot a lot of money.
Yeah,
and I was getting to the point where I just ride into the sunset.
Was this before or after COVID?
It was after COVID.
Just after, huh?
It was after COVID.
So you're coming off the high of all that.
and say, hey, some say, take my chips and put them on the side and just you know ride off into the sunset, or hey, is this the time to step on the gas?
Risk it
and,
for the
and I think
biscuit.
there's gonna be a lot of opportunities over the next year with the difficulties. You know, you were talking to me about a building you were looking at before, and now all of a sudden the building's less, and I think a lot of us can strike now because in the middle of all these difficulties are opportunities. It's just being able to see them and say, hey, you know. You got to buy when there's blood in the street, and there's going to be a lot of blood in the street,
bro. It's coming, bro.
It's coming. We've got to pay this bar bill. Someone's got to pay this bar bill back. The government's been spending money like drunk sailors.
Yeah.
What do you think about what's going on in New York? The trial with our friend Mr. Trump.
Well, you know, I was looking in New York and Chicago. We had a deal under contract in Chicago. We're starting to look in New York. I'm like, this is going to be the year. I told Ryan, we're going to go buy some real estate in New York because I'm looking for a place to enter. And then what was the fine? 460 or 450? My wife and I are flying from Austin from a real estate conference, and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see what they did to Mr. Trump?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "They did they built they're charging him $460 million." And I'm like, she's like, "You should start a GoFundMe account for him." I said, "Fuck Donald Trump, shit." I got to pull out of these deals I'm in New York and Chicago. And literally we had $500 million that we were going to push there. I ended the deals, told Ryan, shut them down, walk away from the deals.
It's unbelievable.
And we have since spent all that
someplace else.
$200 million right here in Miami.
Yeah, you know, we need a.
They just keep selling real estate in Florida, bro.
We need a business friendly environment, you know. And every time I fill out a personal financial statement, I state what my best guess of what my real estate, my assets are worth, and who is better at assessing what your real estate.
They force you to do that, bro. It's not even your choice.
But the bank will make their own determination of what that's worth.
Of course.
And so I maybe I don't know all the facts.
I had a house I was selling in La Jolla, California. This is in 1998, 2000, something like that. I'm trying to buy a house across the street and sell my house. And the guy's like, "Hey, what do you think your house is worth?" I said, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, we have somebody in house that's interested in your house." I'm like, "Okay." So I said, "I think it's worth $850,000. I didn't think it was worth $850,000 at the time because the market was terrible. And he's like, "Good, he'll buy it." Had I said it was worth less, I would have gotten less. Like, what am I supposed to say? And
these guys trying to set the value of Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that brings me now to Clubhouse. Okay, you haven't been on Clubhouse in a while.
No.
You know, you used to be there all the time.
I checked out.
Yeah, you and I used to be there. You ain't checked out completely.
Yeah, well, it got so toxic. You know,
you loved it though.
I did.
know you loved some of it.
I loved all of it. Going into the arena, sharpening your sword every night, and we went at it.
Dude.
We were right though. I mean, all the stuff we were saying about during the COVID era and stuff. Look at how much.
I'd like somebody to find one thing that we were wrong about.
Yeah. Well, the politics,
the vax, the mask, the mandates,
100%.
the politics.
Hey, the hydroxychloroquine,
the ivermectin. Can't say. Don't say all these things. I got to keep it out, so otherwise they'll bleep my channel.
Yeah.
The Ivor, the
What I don't understand, right? They always say,
dude, there's still people wearing the thing facial piece.
It's crazy. But they say don't get in the way.
She ain't got any panties on, but she's got a thing on.
Don't get in the way between a doctor and the patient, right? But yet a doctor couldn't prescribe hydroxychloroquine.
Don't say these things. Don't say these things.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's crazy, dude. But I missed you. I actually did a Clubhouse last night.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought about you because some of the old guys were in there, and
it was a great. A great crew. And Tara and all the maniacs were in there. But I love good repartee. I love going back and forth with people and smart people that could articulate their position.
Yeah.
But there was
without going too far. You know about my thing.
I do, man. Okay. Your thing is your thing, man. That's
well, that's going to be a thing.
Well, I knew that wasn't going to be thrown out, man, because a judge can't throw it out. You got to listen to the facts.
Oh yeah,
the particulars.
Yeah, that's.
I'm following it from the sidelines.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal, dude. That's a big deal. Somebody said, "Hey, I thought you were just playing around." I said, "Oh no, I ain't playing around, dude. I gave enough. I gave enough warnings. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! You're going too far now. That's enough. That's enough.
We got that hater guy that was on that hater guy that's got a problem with your religion and out there pushing that stuff up there.
That's
I just
weird,
don't.
dude.
I just don't like that guy.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
When do we live? It's 2024, and you're going to hate on somebody's religion? Like if I was Jewish and that guy was saying that stuff about me as a Jewish person, you know how fast he'd be shut down.
Yeah, I've come to realize there's a couple of billion Christians and a couple of billion Muslims and a couple of billion Buddhists, and you know they all can't be right. So I try and keep my religion to myself and realize that although I believe this strongly, I may not be right. So I respect whatever you believe.
Yeah, dude,
and it's your right to believe.
Like people should be able to do what you believe, what they
But
can we just all
the days
get along,
of attack?
man?
Yeah, the days of
Goddamn,
attacking
I just want to know whether you want to go 60 months or 72 months. That's all I want to know.
well,
I don't care what religion you got, man. Does the car fit your needs? 2-door, 4-door, 5-speed, or automatic? I guess they don't even do 5 speeds anymore, do they?
It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Well, dude, it's great to be with you.
It is so good to see you.
Your opinion of Miami since you're down here.
It's exciting. It's vibrant. It's alive.
Yeah. When you fly, where'd you fly into?
Fort Lauderdale.
So when you flew in, what did you see from the air?
I flew. All I saw was a beautiful ocean and beautiful real estate.
Right.
And the people here, there's a sense of optimism here. And and New York's been a little bit gray lately. I think in the politics, and maybe I'm too involved in the politics. I think the politics is, we had some great governance at one point in New York City.
Yeah, you'll get it again, dude. The people just got to get fed up.
I hope so.
The people just got to get completely enraged.
You look at a state like California, and a lot of people, there's a lot of not good things going on, but
Yeah.
they keep seemingly voting the same crew in there.
Yeah.
And I thought all of California was
They're
bad.
getting pissed off there, bro.
But I went to Pebble Beach, and
Yeah.
I went to that. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And really great people.
Yeah.
So there are places.
Well,
that
but there
get
were
it.
visitors.
Yeah. No,
Were they locals or visitors?
No, locals. It was spectacular there, and the
Yeah.
area there was just second to none. But
Yeah.
for the most part, people have given up on California, and people coming over the border. What do we do with them?
Yeah.
You see them in New York City. We've got all these people, and they're good people.
Yeah.
I can't hire them if I want.
Well,
to
you're
hire
not
them.
against immigrants.
Not
You're
at all.
against illegals.
I always ask, what's the plan?
Yeah.
You're bringing them in. Okay, great. Tell me what the plan is.
Yeah.
Can I hire them? I
Yeah.
can't hire them.
Exactly.
So
That's
what's
my deal,
the
bro.
plan?
Like, bro, can I hire them? No, you can't. Okay, well, what are they going to do? Who's going to feed them? Like, what we ought to do is we ought to import 100 million immigrants into this country that are highly educated, that have something to offer, the coders, the intelligence, the people that want to come here, or people that have money. Like you go to Dubai, dude, if you got money, boom, come on in.
All day long.
Bring the money. Bring your money, buy some property, set up a business. They encourage that. We ought to encourage that shit here and bring the best of America, regardless of their religion or their race or and just encourage people to come here and make this the greatest country in the world.
Yeah, well,
10X America, man.
10X America, man. I love what you're doing with 10X.
Yeah.
Man. I love it, man. Good
Well, I
to
love
see
you, brother. I appreciate you coming
you
in the
too,
studio, man. And if
Thanks
you guys
for having me here.
if you don't know Brian Benstock, get to know the guy. If you're in the car business, I know he'll take your call to help you.
100%.
He's huge on mentoring people, helping people for nothing, by the way.
Yeah.
And you gave me a big hand. You gave me a big hand. I don't know how many years ago now.
2009, man.
2009. So
Yeah,
I was what? How old was I in 2009? 4 years ago? Yeah, 24 years ago. I was 42 years old.
Yeah.
42 years old, flying commercial everywhere. In coach, by the way. When I flew to your store, I was in coach.
Okay.
I didn't get an upgrade, so I didn't
That was
pay
right
for
after
the
the
first
recession,
class.
2008.
Yeah.
And you were
And I was selling my
bankers.
house in LA.
Yeah.
And I was about to make the biggest decision of my life, moving to Miami and taking the equity out of my home and putting it in that one apartment deal.
And you said, I'm coming into New York, and hey, let me. You mind if I kill a couple birds with one stone, talk to your people, and do a
Would
meeting for
you pay me that day?
$9,000, man.
$9,000.
Is that great? To talk in the basement of Paragon.
And you
$9,000.
complained about it too. I think
I
you
did.
complained about the
I
price.
think you asked for 12, and I gave you 9. And,
Yeah.
And that day we sold an extra like $50,000 worth of profit in cars,
Yeah.
so I got a good return
Yeah.
on investment, and you killed 2 birds with one stone. So it worked out for both of us.
Yeah. And I was grateful, dude. I was grateful for the work
I get it.
and the shot. And most importantly, that I could say, hey, I worked for you.
We worked
You know,
together.
and we worked together.
We got that poster of you up there with the fire, eating fire.
Yeah.
Still in the office down there.
Great to have you here, man. Appreciate it, okay?
Always good to see you. Bud.
Thanks for coming. Brian Benstock, guys, another serious power player right here on Power Players in the Cardone Zone.